I'm really excited about Deltapine's product lineup for 2011 in the North Delta. Deltapine 0912 Bogart 2 Roundup Ready Flex has had a tremendous year all the way across the North Delta. Extremely high yields, good grades, easy to manage. It's just a variety that has got an excellent fit for this geography, and I'm sure that it's going to be planted on a tremendous amount of acres across the North Delta in 2011. It does tend to be to the high side of micronair. That can be managed, and I think most growers across the upper Delta understand that and have been doing that. But if we'll just defoliate 0912 a little earlier than normal, maybe at 50 to 60% open, or either precondition it at 20 to 30% open to defoliate it, then that will certainly help lower that micronair, especially on a high mic year like this past year. The next variety I want to talk about is Deltapine 0920 Bogart 2 Roundup Ready Flex. We've seen excellent performance out of Deltapine 0920 really across the entire North Delta. We positioned 0920 as a dryland variety. Last year it's done extremely well in West Tennessee, North Alabama, and the dryland acres in Arkansas, Boot Hill, Missouri, and North Mississippi. We've seen extremely high yields out of 0920 this past year with excellent fiber package. So 0920 is certainly one that I would encourage you to look at on dryland acres. The next variety that I'm going to mention is Deltapine 0924. 0924 goes across soil types really well, goes across management styles really well. You know, all of us have got some acres on our farm that just aren't those top end yield acres. They're not low yield, but they're just kind of in that mid yield range. That's really where I see 0924 fitting. It does a great job in that mid yield environment. It'll be right at the top, and it's got an excellent fiber package. The next variety that I want to mention is Deltapine 0935. And I know some people are going to say, why do you want to talk about that one in the North Delta? Because I think it's got a fit. On those really tough cotton acres, with the price of cotton up, I think acres is going to go up. When acres go up, we have to go get some acres that may not be as well suited for cotton as the acres we've planted over the last 2 or 3 years. That's where 0935 really has a good fit, on those tough acres where you need something that'll get a little more plant height, where you need a variety that's got a higher level of indeterminacy to stand some stress. That's where 0935 has a fit. Switching to the class of 10 for the North Delta, there's two varieties I want to talk about. Deltapine 1028 is an early mid-season variety that I'm really high on. It's got extremely high yield potential and an excellent fiber package. It is harder to manage than 0912 throughout the growing season. What I recommend, and what I've seen work really well this past year, is to front-end load Deltapine 1028 with PGR. So at pinhead to match head square, come in and put a light application of PGR on Deltapine 1028. It front end loads it with PGR. Then if you have an extremely good growing season, it's much easier to control plant height with 1028. Also, it's extremely important to maintain the early season fruit load on this variety. It's going to start fruiting early, node 5, 6. If we can maintain node 5, 6, 7, then it makes it much easier to manage the growth of that plant throughout the growing season. Certainly encourage you to look at 1028 simply because of its yield potential and fiber package. The last variety I want to talk about for the North Delta is Deltapine 1034. 1034 is a true mid-season variety that has extremely high yield. It's got one of the best fiber packages in the industry today, and it's one that I certainly think deserves you looking at on your farm in 2011. Again, Deltapine 1034 is a vigorous growing plant, so I would recommend essentially the same PGR management techniques that we did with 1028. Come in at pinhead to match head square with a light application. Maintain that early season fruit. Really scout for plant bugs. Keep that early season fruit set, and you'll be happy with the performance of 1034.